Hello everyone. Today's lesson is lesson 17, dividing a circle into 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 12 equal parts, identifying fractional parts of one whole to twelfths, and identifying the numerator and denominator of a fraction. So if I have a circle and I wanted to fold it in half, I would have a line across the middle that looks like this. Okay. The line divides a circle into 2 equal pieces, and each of these pieces is called 1 half. Now, 2 halves is the same as 1 whole. Okay, so if I covered up half of my circle, it would look like this. This would be 1 half of my circle. All right, now let's fold my circle in half again. So if I fold my circle in half again, the other direction, my circle would look like this. How many equal pieces do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we call each piece 1/4. So each of these pieces would be 1/4 of my circle. Now, how many fourths are in one whole? Well, there's 4 of them. How many fourths are in 1 half? So if we look, half of my circle has 2 1/4 pieces. That means that 2/4 equals 1 half. These are called equivalent fractions. The word equivalent has equal in it, so you know that these fractions are equal. So let's fold this circle in half again. So if I fold my circle in half again, my circle would look like this when I unfolded it. Okay, how many equal pieces do I have? I have 8 of them. So each of these pieces are called 1/8. Okay, so I had 1 half, 1/4, and now I have 1/8. So there are 8 circles in a whole. How many 8s are the same as 1/4? So I know 1/4 was this amount. So I know that 2 8s equals 1/4 because they are equivalent. How many 8s are in 1 half? So here's half, the whole thing, half of the circle. So 4 8s equals 1 half. So here I have my circle and it's divided into 8ths, and I've shaded 3 8ths, 3 of them. So this means that 3 pieces, 3 8ths of my circle is shaded. With a fraction, we have a number on top and a number on the bottom. The top number is called the numerator, and the bottom number is called the denominator. Let's write that a little bit better. Okay, the numerator tells us how many pieces are shaded, and the denominator tells us how many pieces there are total. We remember that the denominator is the bottom number because D is the same as the word down. So denominator starts with D and down starts with D. Okay, so now I have this circle. And so how many pieces do I have that are shaded? Well, there's 3 pieces shaded. And how many pieces are there total? There's 4. So that means that 3/4 of my circle is shaded. So how much of my circle is not shaded? There's only 1 piece that's not shaded out of the 4. So 1/4 of my circle is not shaded. Okay, so now you're going to learn how to divide a circle into 12, 3, and 6 equal pieces. And we use a clock to help us with this. Okay, so I'm going to start by having my circle folded into fourths, and that's what this little plus sign is for. Okay, so a clock, at the top of a clock, we have 12 o'clock. On the right-hand side, we have 3, the bottom is 6, and the left-hand side is 9. Okay, So that's what a clock would look like. So we're going to put 2 marks evenly spaced between the 12 and the 3. Okay, so we have 2 marks, and that would be 1 and 2. And then we have 3, and then there's 4 and 5, 6, 7, and 8, then 9, 10, and 11. Okay. So we can use a ruler to connect the center of the circle to the numbers on the clock face. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use just my line, but to get a straight line, it helps to use a ruler. Okay, so if we connect the center to each of the numbers as we go around, there we go. All right. How many pieces do we have? Well, we have 12 pieces. So each of these pieces is worth 1/12 of my whole. Okay. All right. So how many 12ths are equivalent to 1/2? So if I wanted to show half of my circle, we can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So 1/2 is the same as 6/12. Okay. When we divide our number into thirds, we draw lines from the center of our circle to the 12, the 4, and the 8, if we think about this as a clock. Okay. We draw those lines, you can see, if I continue them, that my circle is divided into about 3 equal pieces. It's a little bit difficult to do, so just do the best you can. Okay, now each of these pieces equals 1/3 of my whole. So how many 12ths are the same as 1/3? Well, if we look between the 1 and the 4, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1/3 is the same as 4/12. Okay, we can divide a circle into 6 by using either the even or odd numbers around the clock. Okay, and I can do it also by dividing this into 6s that way. All right, so when we write fractions to describe objects or pictures, it is important to make sure all the pieces are the same size. So if you look at these shapes, which shapes have pieces that are the same size? Well, the only ones that do are B and D. Okay, so on B, each fractional part is 1/5 of the whole shape. Okay. If I shaded 2 of these, that would mean that I'd have 2/5 of my shape shaded. On the circle, each piece is divided up into 6ths. So if I have 5 pieces shaded in, then I would have 5/6 of my circle shaded. Okay. All right, that's it for this lesson. Good luck on your homework.